What's up, people? Welcome! Come on in. I'm gonna cut to the chase tonight. Oh, yeah. I had the wrong picture up. Thought I uploaded it. Oh, well. Come on in, people. Grab a drink. Tonight, we're talking about New York City. All right. Cheers, everybody. Happy Wednesday. All right. Who do we got in here? Brother Nick, Eric, Mark, William. Come on in. Grab your drinks. Tonight, I am rocking Black Cherry Seltzer. Not too exciting. All right. Killer! Let's switch over to vinyl. It's crazy. I don't have that on vinyl. What you're hearing is unreleased material that I recorded about 10 years ago. Rick Sherman, Elizabeth, what's up? Hi, welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me know how it sounds. I want to chat tonight about New York City. Tonight's show is called Goodbye New York City. I don't know why I have this pickup. It shouldn't be that. It should not say that. It should say Goodbye Manhattan. Yeah, let's start. First of all, I saw there's a Lord of the Rings TV show coming out for any Middle-earth fans. Pretty cool. Also, in the last 2 days, the CIA dropped a bunch of files. William, you tipped me off to this. Question for William. Anything that you've noticed with this drop of the files? The reason why I'm asking is it looks like it's a lot of stuff. It looks like it's a mass quantity of files that someone's going to have to sort through to find the good stuff. And I think there's mention of materials in some of them. I looked at a few, and it looks pretty vast. So, William, if you hear of anything, tip me off, and I'll do another show on just that. I think it's kind of a cool subject. Also, last night, I hadn't played one of my campaigns that I run. I'm a dungeon master. And last night, I ran a really good game. I hadn't run a really long, juicy one in a while. And I forgot how much I love this. Right there, folks. The world's greatest rule book. Rick Sherman, you got one. You know. This thing's $24, and it is a massive book. It is huge. Really thick, and it's the greatest role-playing game ever. Hands down. Dungeon Crawl Classics. Goodman Games. Check it out. So, what else? Yeah, I'm going to start this, man. I got a lot of stories to tell tonight. Oh, you did go through some of it. Yeah, it's a lot. Maybe we'll coordinate. Maybe you go through some and I'll go through some. I want to look into I'm going to look into it. I want to see the source direct. What else? I'm going to blow this candle out. It looks like it's about to leak. What else, folks? I'm going to get to this New York story. The reason why I decided to do an episode entitled Goodbye Manhattan is because I really do feel that there's so many things that I moved to New York City for aren't there anymore. Most of the places I used to hang out at, or places that I thought were institutions of art, aren't there anymore. And the nightlife, 99% of it is gone. There's a very small sliver. And I really wanted to talk about it because one of the places I used to work at and hang out at and was friends with everybody there, the bosses, the employees, and it was a huge part of my life, was Halloween Adventure. And, yeah, Ashworth, come on in. William's in here, Rick, everybody. Come on in, everybody. Uh, Halloween Adventure. And I see Brother Nick wrote Rest Easy Halloween Adventure. I believe they're open for another week, and then they're done. The place died 5 years ago. COVID didn't kill it. Corporate killed it. That's what killed it. COVID, for me, was the last nail in the coffin for a lot of things, but they were going to get filled in anyways. So I moved to New York City in 1995. And please, anybody in here, go nuts, questions, whatever, fire out. I have a lot to say. I moved in 95. Trash bar, oh boy, yeah. All these places. And I moved to New York, why? To start my life. I knew I was going to perform. I was an actor, performer, magician. I wanted to be in a band. I wasn't in a band. I moved here. I moved here because it was punk rock ground zero. It was experimental theater ground zero. It was avant-garde everything ground zero. And I wanted to be a part of it. I really did. I wanted to be a part of whatever art movement I could get my hands on, or be, whatever it was. I really wanted to start here. Ah, Fallon, you too, huh? So you remember. Very different. And it was definitely dangerous, even in the nice neighborhoods. You had to watch out, which meant anybody that moved to New York had game. I don't care if you were rich and spoiled rotten or poor. If you moved here in the old days, you had to pay attention. You couldn't just wander around aimlessly. Most of the people that have come here in the last 15 years would have gotten beat down quick and not lasted long. Or they would have come here and said, I can't live here. I can visit, but I can't live here. It was literally that crazy in certain spots. I used to take a cab for 1 block because it was so scary. There was like gang dudes literally waiting for stuff. And like I would skip it and take a cab around it. It just was too much. Now, I didn't mind it. I didn't hate it. I didn't want to leave. I knew that was part of the deal, and there was a protocol. And that became part of my character. So I moved here for that. And again, the punk rock ground zero. It started at CBGB's. And I wanted to be near it. And like that, I became a part of it. And if you go back and watch my episodes, I have a whole episode on my first move into New York and what happened. I'll do it again eventually. And I like telling the story. It shaped my life. My first few years in the city, I got involved in art, theater, music, everything, modeling, the whole 9 yards. One day I'll do let me write this down. I'm going to do an episode on my modeling stuff, because some people don't know I actually did that for a while, and it's pretty funny. I have some funny stories. I think I was telling Elizabeth the other day about it. Yeah. Like, I was involved in things I never... If you told me, that I was going to be doing modeling jobs, I would have never believed that. That's not what I was intending on doing. Did it happen? Yeah, I was a part of it. I was rolling with the punches. I was, pretty much doing everything. And why? Because it was available. It was there. There was so many different types of people. There was a really giant working class scene in Manhattan. And unfortunately, it's gone. When I'm in Manhattan now, I feel like this similar feeling of the Midwest. There's a lot of like that TGI Fridays vibe. There's a Disney TGI Fridays feeling on the whole city. The Lower East Side feels and looks like the Upper West Side did. The Upper West Side is starting to look like the Upper East Side. It's like, it's hard to like process for me when I visit there. Now, I don't hang there anymore. Very rare. I do work there and will. But I have no reason to go there anymore. It's not that far. It's, that away. I'm in Queens and Brooklyn, Manhattan. It's over here. There's nothing there for me. I don't have the feeling I had when I used to go there. I feel. I used to not feel dirty in Manhattan, meaning I didn't feel like people are looking at me like, who's that guy? Now I get that feeling. I have a feeling like that in D.C. Every time I visit Washington, D.C., I have this feeling of people like, who's the scary guy? Right? New York wasn't like that. Let me look at these comments. Art, no wave, punk, homo core. I came for and loved it all. Yes, me too. And it's funny, the homo core is how I got my start in New York, and I'm not even homo. But that's where I was, and I loved every minute of it. I met the greatest people. It changed my life. I came here for that. Avenue A, adventurous. Avenue B, bold. Avenue C, crazy. Avenue D, dead. Yeah, that was it. A, B, C, D. Avenue A had No-Tell Motel. I don't know if you remember that place. Wow. I mean, so as just nightclubs go, I mean, they're all gone. Continental's gone. They actually tore it down. Coney Island High, torn down. CBGB's, at least one of the walls is preserved, but it's now a John Varvatos. Irving Plaza ain't open and hasn't been for years. I don't know if they'll ever open. Limelight, gone. Roseland, gone. Some of these should have been historic landmarks. Seriously. So, I don't have the feeling. Now, I do think, are there other places that you think have parts of what NYC special? Great question. Yes. Where I live now, Rockaway Beach. I like it here because it's got a big working class ethic. It has poor people. It has rich people. It has working class, middle class people. It has everybody. And it definitely has a punk rock feeling out here. There's a lot of artists and musicians. There's a lot of creators moving here because we have the natural resource of the beach, and the rents are cheaper out here. Shh. For now. I think a lot of people are moving to Philly. A lot of people moved to New Orleans, Nashville. These are the cities where there are new art movements because they got out of here. Because it ain't no fun. When I'm in the Lower East Side and I look around and I'm like, my God, it's a fraternity now. It's sorority girls and frat guys. That's what I was escaping from when I left Pennsylvania. I was like, I don't want that. I want weirdos and punk rockers. I want that, I don't want the mundane. I want the strange and the weird and the whimsical, And I mean, now Broadway's decimated too. That's bye-bye. I don't think it'll ever come back the way it was. Ever, never, never. Maybe a little bit. The opera, I think they'll hold in. There's enough rich people that like opera to keep it afloat. I love opera. God, if that's not going anywhere. Yeah, so Halloween Adventure. So my experience working in Halloween stores, I mean, all the music venues are in Brooklyn now. That's Brooklyn and Queens. That's the main. If you want to see punk rock and metal, you got to go to Brooklyn and Queens. In the old days too, there was L'Amour's. I mean, but not like now. I worked at Abracadabra on Christopher Street, the old one, and Irving was the magician, and I filled in for him when he wasn't around. And I hated that place. The boss was not cool. I actually quit because I saw him take a tip. Somebody got tipped at work. One of the girls put makeup on a guy who just bought the makeup. And he took the tip and said, you can't get tipped in my store. You work for me. It's my tip. And she had just had a baby. So I said, I quit. Can't work for you anymore. So I worked there as at the Halloween store. And then Halloween Adventure, I don't know what year exactly it opened. There was one in Pennsylvania. It's a chain, and they wanted a flagship store. So there's a couple owners. When I knew in the old days, it was Tony Bianchi and Bruce Goldman. And there might have been a third partner, but I'm not sure. Tony Bianchi was owner and manager. And the first time I went in there, they had a little magic section. The Halloween store was giant, and it was on 4th Avenue. And that's it. It didn't have a basement. It was just one little... And they had a magic counter, and the magician Michael Lee was working. And he's a magician guy in New York City. And I knew him. He quit. I don't know why. I think he wasn't very good at running a magic shop, from what I gather. He might have been, but that's kind of what they told me. And then Magic Mike Escover, he took it over. And he's a friend of mine. I don't know if you remember Magic Mike. Magical Mike Escover. Pretty peculiar guy, good friend. He passed away 10, 15 years ago. And then I went in there, and they hired me in a second. I showed him how I could throw my voice, and he hired me. I was like, look, I need a part-time gig. I know what I'm doing, and I can sell this stuff like hotcakes. I talked them into commission sale. And that's why I stuck around. I was making good money. I was booking shows. And I gotta say, that store went from a big Halloween store to the largest Halloween store on earth. Anybody that has been in there, you'll know it's massive. Two-story store, endless. And Tony Bianchi was an awesome guy. Is an awesome guy. He's still alive. I just chatting with him the other day. He was the boss. He was the embodiment of Halloween. They called him Tony Halloween. He's an Italian guy from Atlantic City. And I really love this guy. I still do. He's a great dude. He ran the ship well. Why? Because he liked what he did. And I had many great times. I'd go to his office and we'd goof off and do magic tricks. And the Gothic store, Rick, was called Gothic Renaissance, and one of the nicest ones around. Beautiful stuff. Stitch, shout out to you. He was the buyer. He was the manager buyer. So many friends, so many magicians passed through. Fausto, the manager, endless love for everybody there. Tony Bianchi hired everybody. He hired, you name it. He didn't care. He's actually, too, one of the employers that he hired trans, gay, straight, pierced face, tattooed face, mohawk. He didn't care. He wanted people that loved Halloween, and he didn't care where you were from and who you are. There was no discriminating like that there. Which is why I like the place. He was pretty open arms to a lot of people. And I really am going to miss the place. It was where I went when I had to go to the bathroom. I'm going to be honest. If you're not from New York, I don't know if you know this, there are no public restrooms that are nice. I mean, there's some that are like vomitos. The one in Tompkins Square Park is pretty bad. There's Starbucks, McDonald's. So for me, the Halloween store was a rest stop. It was a go in and escape the city and talk to Tony. All right, here's a good story. And then I'm going to switch it up a bit. There's a two-part to this story. I'm not going to tell this story. It's pointless. It's pointless. I was going to tell a story about hanging out with Tony, but he's a great guy, and he sold the business a while ago, but he still managed. He was the manager. And then I think about a few years ago, he got out. I heard the corporate company that bought it put it right in the ground. Every decision was for financial stuff, and it was not for the decisions weren't made how Tony would have done it for the integrity of the store. They fired managers that had been there for many years for stupid reasons. Why? Because they didn't want to pay them anymore. I'm not into that. I know that's how business is. It doesn't mean I have to like it. Yeah. Tony's also a really great artist and makes leather masks for anybody that knows him. Goth, Funhouse, and Skin Crawl. Yep. They were great clubs, man. You know what else was good? Remember Roseland Ballroom? They had that beautiful wooden floor. I don't know if anybody's seen shows there. Man, it was beautiful. Like a nice proscenium stage. I got to do magic there many times. And I got to do music there maybe only once. I can't remember. I did get to play there. Trash and Vaudeville. Another one. St. Mark's. I don't know what to say. I mean, it used to be punk rock central. Coney Island High, and that's in my story about moving to New York. First nightclub I basically went into in New York. I was there in the first week. Trash Vaudeville. Punk Rock Clothing Central. Jimmy, who just passed away, was the manager there. He took it and opened his own version of it called, what was it called? My God, I can't remember. Well, it just closed. Why? He died. I mean, that was that. Great guy. Yeah, New York's not the same. I mean, a lot of people moved to Brooklyn. I did. I left 98 or 90. Yeah, 98 I moved to Brooklyn. So I was in Manhattan for 3-4 years maybe. I need more. There we go. Yeah, great store. He was such a cool guy. My goodness. What a loving, sweet human being he was. I moved to Brooklyn. Why? Cheap. 3-bedroom apartment was like $850. Oh, Pat Fields, yeah. $850 for a 3-bedroom in Greenpoint. And then in Greenpoint, Brooklyn, my rent went from $850 to $16, like that. Too fast. Too fast. It's not cool when neighborhoods change that quick. And that's what happened to Williamsburg. It was like, fancy. Now, I don't think that's going to happen where I'm at now. We are very far away here. It's not that fast to Manhattan. You can either take the subway or take a boat. We got boats here. We got ferry boats. But the reason why I don't think we're going to have the Williamsburg explosion, for those of you that don't live here, Williamsburg, Brooklyn is right on the water, right beside, and it's kind of like hipster central. Now it's rich hipster central. It's so expensive to live there. It got pretty darn pricey. And if you want to buy there, forget it. It's crazy. Yeah, Fallon just said it. Cabs did not want to drive to Brooklyn. It was like, My trick was this. I'd get in the car. The car pulls up, the cab. They roll the window down. And they go, "Where are you going?" And you go, you pretend like you don't hear them. And you open the door and sit down. And they go, "Where are you going?" And you go, Brooklyn, Greenpoint. And they go, "Nope, not going there." And you go, "Yes, you are." And your tip starts shrinking as soon as you start complaining. That was my answer. And that was it. They'd drive. Because I hated it. I'd be in the car and they'd be like, "Get out." They'd try to get me to get out of the car. And I'd be like, "Nope, I got to get home, man." Yeah, and then I went from Greenpoint, Brooklyn, to Ridgewood, Queens. And then I moved in Ridgewood, Queens once, and then Rockaway. Ridgewood's okay. It doesn't have any features. It's kind of an undescript area. It's now expensive. I mean, the inflation ain't matching what people are doing, and that's not good. It makes it unstable. So I don't have an answer, but yeah, wherever artists may roam, you got Richie Rich behind who wants to emulate the artist guy, and they can afford to live the lifestyle. So they usually move in. Why? Because the artist guys are fun to be around. They usually start doing fun things. They're creators. Creators do things. They put on shows. They make clothes. They write poems, right? And the non-creators who like them sometimes want to move next to them. Cool, but then the rents go up. So, unfortunately, it's a catch-22. The thing about Rockaway Beach that's special and different than Williamsburg is everybody that moves here loves Mr. Ocean, Mother Nature, ocean. We all love the beach. We love boats, ocean. You don't come here if you don't like the beach and sand in your feet. So it weeds out some people, which is good. It's the unifying factor. The other thing is surfing's not a rich guy sport. No, it is not. No. You need a board, and you can get them cheap. So it's not really a rich guy sport. And everybody comes here to surf. It's a big surfing community now. More people are coming. And so if that's the bond that makes people come here, that's good. That's a good thing. Somebody here, okay, look. Somebody's in Australia. Yeah. Yeah. This is not good. It's weird. Like the problem is the inflation doesn't match. It's like, it's bam and then you're like, "Oh, I got to move." So you're always moving around. Now, what's the saying? Those who won't change suffer. I mean, you got to go with the flow. But I think places like where I'm at now is the answer. You got to be smart. You got to plan it. You got to look for where it might not get too quick. And somewhere like here, like I said, it's far away from the city. If you're going to make a living here, a lot of people are making new businesses here. They don't have to go to the city. Why? Because they want to be at the beach. So that to me makes this kind of good. It gives it like another angle to it. People that move to Williamsburg, what are you moving there for? It's crowded. It's expensive. There's no parking. Yes, it's close to Manhattan. But as for features, what feature do you get there that would bring everybody there? Shopping? That's not a good unifier. I think the ocean is. What city are you in Australia? Mark. I'm asking Mark what city he's from. I did a UFO episode on an encounter that happened in Melbourne that's insane. It's the convincing one for me. It's the one that tells me something serious is going on that they really are trying to keep on the... Look up Westhall, Australia UFO. Yes. So Amanda said there's a sense of community. Now, Rockaway Beach is neat because we do have a really big working class neighborhood. We have a lot of cops, firemen, city workers, airport workers, because the airport's not far. A city on the beach. Okay. So you are in a tourist area. So Rockaway, the tourist area here would be Coney Island. Rockaway does have tourists. It's just a different type. In the old days, people came here for their vacation home. That's why we have all these bungalow houses. And when I say bungalow house, I mean miniature houses. They're tiny. And then those rich guys moved to the Hamptons. Now they all have houses in the Hamptons. They're starting to come back. They're coming back here. Why? Because it's fun here. We have so many musicians moving here. It's crazy. There's so many bands, artists, and poets and singers and writers. A lot of writers coming out here now. When I think about my neighbors, I mean, there's like a recording studio behind in one guy's backyard. I mean, it's like all over now. That makes me happy. That means if it does change out here, which it will and is and has, it's going to be pretty neat. It's not going to be generic at all. There are areas here that are going to get generic. We have an area called Arvern. All the houses look the same. It's a development. And they have chain restaurants and businesses. They have banks, right? That's fine. But that's way down. Okay? It's way over there. I used to live over there. It's nice, but it doesn't have a unique personality to me. Over here does, clearly. It's where I live in uptown. It's like nothing looks like this. It's a weird mix of turn-of-the-century Dutch houses and bungalow houses. And we are touristy, but it's a different kind of tourist. We get people that want to see the beach. They want to surf and lay on the beach. Coney Island gets people that want to eat hot dogs, greasy food, and ride rides and see the sideshow, which is cool. We used to have that here. We had a Playland was our amusement park, but they got, I think, 82. It went away, which is a long time ago. Wow. I'm curious if anybody has anything to say about what they do like about Manhattan now. Please tell me. I don't know what to say. I mean, it was this Wild West feeling where, I mean, if you walk down the street with a beer in 1995 and a cop saw you, they would tell you to put it in a bag. That was the protocol. I remember riding subway cars. For those of you who are new to New York, imagine this. I remember smoking in between the cars. I remember peeing in between the cars while it's moving on the tracks. No one cared. Different world. Rudy Giuliani came and quickly started writing tickets for jaywalking. What else? I mean, it goes on and on. It became very, very, what's the word? Totalitarian. And yes, they cleaned up the crime. It's all gone. But they just moved it. You know, they bought tickets for the bums to go to California, and they shifted it around a bit. And they said, come on in, it's safe. So safety brought people who are wimps. People that would never have come here before. Oh, too dangerous for me. I thought it was a good way to weed them out. Whenever I hear people complain about some bad stuff in my neighborhood, I'm like, I mean, yeah, I don't like it, but it is what it is. And it comes with the turf. It's either that or country club. And I don't like country clubs. I like working at them. I don't want to live in one. Anybody else, man? I want to hear. What's in New York that's good? What's in Manhattan that's still awesome? Central Park? Yeah, but you need a permit to street perform. What the hell's that? Yeah, you need a permit to street perform in New York City and most areas. Come on, people. We got a quiet group tonight. Who do we have in here? I'm curious of what people like in New York. Because I can't think of anything anymore. I mean, I love getting dressed up and going to the opera. That's not going to go anywhere. Rich people like the opera. They're not going to let that go away. Oh, although I was waiting for this. And I'm not going to say it too loud. When the PC police hit the opera. Because if you're sitting in the audience at M Butterfly, you are watching a white lady dressed like a Japanese lady singing in Italian. Don't forget that, PC police. I mean, I don't care. I think it's great, but I guarantee you there's people. I was shocked no one brought that up. Yeah, okay. Here we go. Museums. All right. They're still there. for now. Yeah, it's very suburban now, Fallon. Coney Island was hands down. Yeah, dude, Coney Island is still awesome. It did get a little TGI Friday, meaning chain store, but it still has the feeling. The Sideshow owns its own building, so they're not going anywhere. Yeah, it's a destination. It doesn't have, like... I mean, I think Patti Smith wrote an article not that long ago about why artists shouldn't move there now. There's nothing to stimulate you. It doesn't have it. And ironically, she lives... Wait, which direction am I facing? She lives that way. Like 4 blocks down. I'm not kidding. So she likes it here. Why? Because it is cool here. Yeah, Manhattan. I mean, when I was a kid, I remember the first time I came here. I was on a trip to see a play. When I was a kid, you got in the Greyhound bus and you rode it for like 5-6 hours. You got out. You felt like a zombie. You went and saw a Broadway show. You ate a crappy piece of pizza. You got in the bus and you went home. That was New York. And I remember that feeling of like, oh my God, like vast, endless lights, the most pornography you have ever seen your whole life in Times Square. Everywhere you look, everywhere. Porn, 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 porn. Theaters that had movies, film movies showing porn. Now, I actually didn't like that. I mean, I didn't go to those places, but I liked that they were there. that the choice was there. Siren Fest. Yeah. Yep, I remember that. Sbarro. Blech. Right. All the tourists go to Sbarro Pizza. I can't believe it. But, okay, so, you know, you're here, you're a little kid, you're looking around. Manhattan smelled bad. You'd smell popcorn, hot dog, urine. It was like this weird... It smelled like the circus. Yes, there were bums everywhere. Yes, there were street performers, hustlers. You had to have game. And I wanted that. The stripper places. Yeah, there was a lot of stripper places. Now, there are a couple left. They're on 8th Avenue. They're hidden away now. Times Square was pretty awesome. I'm glad I got to be there. I got to live here and be a part of it for a little while. There was, I would say in 2000 is when I saw it starting to really go. That's where I noticed it. 2000. You could feel it. Brooklyn started getting more popular. You could feel everybody leaving. You could feel that it was like this. All the artists were leaving and going to Brooklyn and Queens. And it's change. There are parts of everywhere that are awesome, right? But Manhattan, my kids were both born there. They both went to school there. I had my whole life start. My adult life started there. So it'll never change for that. I mean, I'll have that in my heart. Themed restaurants. Well, I have a story about a themed restaurant, Libra. Glad you brought it up. Mars. I remember that one. Here's one. So, my first job in New York, I was like, all right, I need to go get a job. I saw in the paper, yes, we used to look in the newspaper for work, Jekyll and Hyde Club was looking for help. It was a themed restaurant that had a horror, spooky, gothic theme. And they had actors playing parts. So I'm like, I'm an actor, I'll play the part. I don't know if I told this in my New York story. I might have cut this out because it's not that cool. But I went down. They hired me immediately. But they hired me to be a bathroom attendant. You know, the guy that hands you your paper towel? And they were like, and you can work your way up to being an actor here. All right. So I had a Carnegie Mellon degree. I had a BFA in acting. And I'm going to be a bathroom attendant? Wow, I'm starting low. Okay. So I took the gig and they were like, you got to come for training. It's like a 2-day train, no pay. Okay. So as I'm going on the train to my first day of training, I got on the other train, and went home. I didn't even show up. I was like, I'm not starting there. I knew it would have been bad and not worth it for the amount of money and time I would put. And so I ended up working in the bagel shop that I stayed at. And a great little thing that happened to me recently is I was thinking about the guys I used to work at the bagel shop and how I really missed them and wanted to reach out to them, but I don't have their contact info. And a Google search wasn't enough. They have very common Bangladeshi names that I wouldn't be able to find them. Well, one of them, his wife reached out to my Toilet Boy page, and I have his contact. I sent him a Facebook request, and I have his phone number. So in a day or so, I'm going to text him. He's definitely not watching this. I'll let you know how it goes. I'm not sure how I'm going to text him because he's not going to recognize my number. He's the man that taught me to speak Bengali. I worked in the bagel shop. I had nothing to do. I was going crazy. And Ami jani olpo Bangla. Amar Bondu, Amar Bangla Shikok. He was my Bengali teacher. He taught me how to converse in Bengali. Tumarki Bangla? Anybody? I don't think anybody here speaks Bangla. Squeegee men. So we have some old school New Yorkers in here. Who was born in New York in here? Amanda, I believe you were. I think you were born here. Oh yeah, they would try to watch it. There's so many con artists in Manhattan. Well, in all of New York, but in Manhattan in particular, because why? Because there was tourists. 3 Card Monte, Manhattan. Canal Street, con artists. I like con artists. I think that's where people learn their lesson in life. I think that should exist. Yeah. Oh, you were born, Libra Liz. There you go. So, Manhattan is the crossroads of the world. But Queens has more languages spoken than anywhere on earth. So I live in Queens. I'm proud. I think Queens is cool as hell. I think the fact that we have everything here, we have literally more languages spoken in Queens than anywhere on earth. We have more religions here on earth. We have everything in Queens. We have the ocean. We have the Ramones. Need I say more? The Israelis dressed in curtains. Oh, the Israelites. Oh, yeah, the Black Israelites. Anybody know about those guys? Go look that up. They are African-American gentlemen who identify as one of the lost tribes of Israel. And, yeah, they stand on the street and yell at white guys for being the devil. They have what look like, how do you describe their outfits? It's an amazing thing. They're very bigoted of sorts, but they're kind of fun to watch. They wear elaborate outfits, and sometimes they used to have like kind of like swords and things. But oh yeah, man who was born in Brooklyn. I mean, Manhattan was it was a zoo of everything, and I liked it, and I miss it. And I wish it was here, but it's not, and that's okay. Change hurts those who resist. I'm here where I live, and I'm all about manifesting and making. And it is what you make it. And where I live now, we are hands-on in this community. Hands-on. Somebody opens a business we don't like or something happens, we're on it. We pay attention. This is the only neighborhood I've ever lived in my whole life where people here actually read our local newspaper. And we have 2 here. Everybody looks at it. And I chose this area because of that. You know, I'm not a fan of communism, but communism works on a very small scale. And that's how these little neighborhoods like this one operate. We all know each other. There's a resource of people here that we can all individually call upon as friends and neighbors whenever we need it. I chose that for this. That's one of the reasons why I picked living here is what the community has to offer. And I think that's important. And I'll say that again. I am not into communism. There is a new movement where people like that word and they think it's cute. I do not like it. I think it's dangerous. But I do think communism evolved. If you look at like a village mentality, that's what that is. And I think on a small scale, communism's cool. You know, 20 to 50 people, great. As soon as it turns into a city and a country, bad. So that's this neighborhood. It's got that feeling of real, everybody's there if you need them. We even have a stupid Facebook page that is a resource here that's really good. Topsail Island. Where's Topsail Island? Where is that? Where are you? I love how people are from really all over the place on this thing. Where is that, Talon? I'm curious. I'm some of this geography I'm not. Huh. Oh, somebody just said, yeah, they've only seen the Disneyfication of Times Square. And that's real. Disney runs Times Square. I joke you not. 42nd Street, when they first made it new, they literally put a sign that said New 42nd Street. It had the word new on it. It made me sick. Oh, you're in North Carolina. Okay. Talon, do you live near the island where they think it has the accent close to Elizabethan? There's an island off the coast of, hey, Fallon, bada boom, grazie. See that? Lots of love here. Fallon just threw a tip. Yeah, Rudy really messed it. Thank you, Fallon. Ka-ching. Right into the show. Gonna get that camera. All right, this is way off subject, but quickly before, because I got 10 more minutes. I was watching a show on what Elizabethan sounded like. Shakespeare's language. And they've cracked the code. They think they know what it is. If you think of English as having a soft R, or as in a Cockney accent, no R, the word war would be war, right? Or hopeless would be, in Cockney, hopeless. God, I feel hopeless. Hope. No H. Well, wait. The R is what I'm saying about war. War, not the H. They think Elizabethan had a hard R. War. Fire. Like a pirate accent. A hard R. And they know this by how people described it. And then when they started messing with Elizabethan, they realized things rhymed that they didn't rhyme. And it's awesome. So there's an island off the coast of one of the Carolinas here that has a couple weird things about their accent that they think are tied to that accent. So check it out. Look up Elizabethan. What did it sound like? Killer YouTube videos on that. Really neat if you're into linguistics. Yeah, Fallon, thank you very much. Anybody tips me, I'm very flattered. It's to do this and people hook you up and get, for my gear. Thank you. I got 9 minutes left. I'm going to say to NYC, Duff's, I believe, is still open, but not right now. Yes, Duff's is cool. That's a rock and roll bar. Lucky 13, still open. Where I live, yes, the bars that we haunt are still open, or will be. But a lot's gone. I thank NYC for being there when I moved and for what it was. I'm grateful I got to be in that Wild West. It shaped me of who I am. It gave me a backbone. It made me know what risks were and how to be responsible. You couldn't snooze. Bada boom, folks. Look at this, man. Talon put it. Oak, Ocracoke Island. Go look this up. They have a really weird accent. They have weird words they use. Pretty awesome. I love that stuff. NYC, thank you. I'm so lucky I got to be here. I'm so lucky. There's a book. Where is that book? There's a book that I recommend called. Look at this book, folks. This book came out a few years ago. I'll put it on the hand cam doc. This book is The History of New York Rock and Roll by Stephen Blush. And it's a really thick book. And it is literally the New York history of music starting in the old days, in the 20s and 30s. And it kind of ends with my band. And I'm flattered. I'm in the book. I'm so lucky I got to be in this, like, pantheon of New York rock. And I got to party and hang out with my heroes. I got to be in that world. I got to live in a dangerous world. I got to live on the edge and be responsible. I'm going to do a story one day about this. I was a go-go dancer in a gay bar, and I'm a straight guy. I did that. I did everything. And I really am glad I did it all. It made me who I am. So I thank you, Manhattan, and I say goodbye. It's okay. You can become this new weird thing. We're not going to be able to stop that. And for the people moving there, I hope they're satisfied for what it is. I just, honestly, I just move on. And I'm here. I found a new home, and I love it here. People asking to tip. It's in the, here, I'll put it up here. There it is. Streamlabs.com/Adam Cardone. The reason why I'm always on here freaking out about getting people to become subscribers is because it gets easier to tip. It's much easier. So eventually, yeah, we'll get that rolling. It's getting there. But anybody that tips, it goes right in the show. None of it's going in my pocket yet. I can't. I really need this to be as high quality as I can. Quickly, if you're new, hit that subscribe button. Tell your pals, hit the notify button. People miss my show sometimes because they're not notified. It's the bell. Hit the like button too. And I'm going to show you. Check this out, folks. Look at this. Bada bing. January 22nd. Not this Friday. Next Friday. Lessons in Lycanthropy. I can't wait for this one. This is a tripped out, fun, wacky, weird. My mom said she doesn't want to watch this one. So, Behind the Devil's Curtain, episode 7. This is my flagship show on this channel. Please check it out. I put the most time and effort into these, and I really like doing that show. So check it out. Lessons in Lycanthropy. I'm going to give you werewolf lessons. I'm also going to talk about mask work. Working with masks, whether it be for theater or ritual. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Also, very important, my new business venture, which most of you already know about, M. Diaboli. It is a product line. It's going to be my playing cards that's coming out sooner than later, and a new t-shirt line. Folks, look at this. That's one of the jokers in the cards. Yeah. Now, it's not live on Kickstarter anymore. It is at satanicplayingcards.com. So go over there, sign the mailing list, satanicplayingcards.com, and you will be part of M. Diaboli. We're going to make awesome stuff. There's so much going on here. Today, I had a meeting at 7:30 a.m. with my buddy who was my partner for M. Diaboli, Stuart Palm, if you're watching. We're going to do another episode where he jumps on. And we came up with some ideas, big ones. Stuff I was like, oh, wow. Stuff where I was like, if I saw that Kickstartered, I would jump on it in a second. So I can't wait to tell you what that is in the future. I love that this chat in here. Before I go, people that are have the accent are called high-tiders or hoy-toiters. Wow. Yeah, we can tell old stories. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Donations. Now you got to write that in. You got to go there. Streamlabs.com/Adam Cardone. That's my donation stuff. I appreciate it when everybody does it because this ain't easy. And until I get to 1,000, the monetization is a little wobbly on these sites. Carolina Brogue. Oh God, I'm going to go. As soon as I get off, I'm going to go look this stuff up. I love it. Linguistics are kind of cool for me. What else? I got 2 minutes. I don't have much to say. I think Friday, I'm going to do another evening hour, just like this. But I'm going to do something cool. I'm working on now. My evening hour show right here, what you guys come to, it's always new. And sometimes the day before I'll get the idea. But it's usually stuff I don't have to prepare crazy. It's stuff that's all here. But I have so many weird things in here and stories and parts of my life that I unlock for these episodes that you guys help me a lot by giving me feedback. Oh, yeah. Well, I did mention Don Hills once. And that's one of the places I go danced. Don Hills. Don Hill is he's passed now. He's an amazing dude. He hooked up my band. He hooked up the gay scene with what he did with Squeezebox. He hooked up everybody. I mean, he was great. He's the one that believed in my band and gave us our first start. I really think he's the guy. He's the one. I think every single person in my band would agree to that. It's where the first show happened. It's where my first concert in NYC, to see or to perform? Which one? To see. Ooh. Well, the first band I saw play, I talked about in my first week in New York. I went to Coney Island High to just see what was going on. And the band on stage, I don't know, there was 30 people in the room, and Debbie Harry was up there singing an X-Ray Spec song. Okay? I wasn't planning on seeing that. That just happened. The first band I bought a ticket to go see, I don't remember. I was seeing so many. I saw so many bands. I mean, I don't think I could ever figure that out. I can't answer that. Back then, there was a lot. King Diamond, Merciful Fate, the Ramones, the Cramps, Gwar, Deicide, Iron Maiden, Kiss, AC/DC, all of those great bands, I saw them a million times. Motorhead, literally all of the above. I saw them play all the time. Tickets were $20 for those shows. They were affordable. They weren't hundreds. I miss you, Manhattan. I'll never forget what you were. Nobody will. Nobody will. And we can always go watch Taxi Driver and see what it was like, because that's definitely what it felt like. It had that wild energy. I did not live here in the 70s. Woo, that's wild. Wow, amazing. Well, folks, we had a great crowd here tonight. I want to thank everybody here for tuning in. I really look forward to these, and I love that I have a crew of people that come in here and have fun. Yeah. Any plans for a tour of the Fun Object? Yes, that is a good idea. I have a lot of things in here that have crazy stories. I mean, just that alone, that box with the skull, this thing here, I could do a whole show on that. That's for my spook show. Yeah, good idea, Libra Liz. Folks, my name is Cardone. I love doing this. You're watching the channel Cardone Entertainment. This is my evening hour. And hit that subscribe button for more. It's basically Monday, Wednesday, Friday right now. And I'm pretty on those. Thank you, William. Libra Liz, Amanda, Talon, Fallon. Thank you for that donation. Eric, Sherman. We got, I think, Elizabeth's in here. Who else? Libra Liz, Amanda, Mark, Brother Nick. Who else? Ashworth. I'm trying to scroll here quick. Eric Carr. Yeah. Folks, thank you. I'll see you around town. And I'm going to take you out with my outro.